All right, everyone to your places.
We're ready in here, sir.
How are we in the studio?
Stand by, sir. Hit the lights.
Yes, sir. Striking.
Quiet on the set, please. We're on in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Nolan.
It's Super Bowl week. I'm
It's
Daniel Pineda.
Super Bowl
And
week.
my name's Adele Quo.
And here we go with another show. Indeed, it is Super Bowl week, and also, as of this taping, Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Right.
And as of
Good
our
old
taping,
Phil.
we don't know
What's his
yet
last name?
whether Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow
well done.
and went back
Well
in,
done.
so stay tuned for that information. We'll have that for you as soon as it becomes available. All right, well, our usual lineup here, News and Community Bulletin Board. Adele is here with
It's Easy Being Green.
Indeed it is, our
Yeah.
CBB file. Denise Pringle and her reviews on Anything Goes this week, our News for Seniors segment. And then Miriam Gennari wraps it up with another installment of her Sustainable Scoop. And that's our show. But before we begin, a social media reminder from my partner.
Absolutely, Craig. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News. And the number 1, also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. Craig.
Indeed we are. Gracias, Senor Pineda. Here we go. Well, the first of our news items. Always start out with some disturbing news here this evening. Arlington police have reported on a suspicious death in the county. The body of a 57-year-old man was found in an apartment building on 7th Street South on Monday, January 30th. The building is near Tyrrell Hill Park. 2 people are being questioned in connection with this incident, and it's unclear at this time whether this is the first homicide for the county in 2017. Daniel.
And Craig, to help prevent more deaths around town, the police department has been engaged in a campaign to make sure motorists are following traffic safety rules. Undercover officers are patrolling crosswalks to catch any drivers who don't stop for people crossing the street. They have issued several traffic tickets near the site where a teen was hit by an SUV in December in Virginia Square. A police spokeswoman said that the ACPD's Special Operations Section is running 2 sessions this month. However, the number will increase every month in the future.
And Daniel, attention Metro riders. Metro Rail has reduced its service to accommodate Safe Track program repairs. And now they're considering slashing Metrobus service as well, including here in Arlington. In its latest budget proposal, this is just a proposal now, the following routes would be cut. Route 5A, DC to Dulles, 13Y, Arlington to Union Station, 15K and L, Chain Bridge Road, 17A, B and F and M, also to Kings Park, 18P, R and S to Burke Center, 28X to Leesburg Pike. In addition, there'll be modifications to the 16H Columbia Heights West Pentagon City route, and also 16X Columbia Pike to Federal Triangle. So some big changes coming to Metro there. Heads up for you Metro riders. Daniel.
And Craig, the Trump administration is considering around 50 infrastructure projects around the country, and the Arlington Memorial Bridge is on the list. The National Park Service believes the project will cost around $250 million. They already obtained $90 million in 2016. Without complete upgrades, the National Park Service may need to close the bridge in 2030.
And Daniel, a little uplifting news now here in this news segment. Well, the county's decal competition is complete, and the winner has been selected for the 2017-2018 Arlington County Vehicle Decal Contest. The winner is called Arlington Sees Stars, and it features a picture or photograph representation of the David M. Brown Planetarium right next to W&L High School. Wakefield High School sophomore Amy Cohen submitted the winning design. As the number one pick, Ms. Amy will receive a $750 cash prize from Arlington Community Federal Credit Union. Also, contestants were Schuyler Workmaster, Sydney Machion, and Marjorie Henriquez. They were also finalists. They did not win the final prize, but they'll receive $500 apiece.
Not bad.
Not bad. Daniel.
And more uplifting story here for you. Last week, we told you about local ultra runner Mike Wardian, who was in the middle of a global race. The 42-year-old ran in 7 different countries, each on a different continent, for every day of the week for 1 week. Wardian won every leg of the race, competing against 30 runners. His average time for each stage of the race was 2 hours and 45 minutes, breaking the previous record of 3 hours and 32 seconds by 47 minutes. Wow. This is the
Amazing.
3rd year the World Marathon Challenge has existed. 47 minutes,
3
Greg.
hours,
That's pretty
3
cool.
hours, 32 seconds, and 47 minutes.
Amazing.
That's quite a pace. All right.
Good job. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Well, CBB coming up. We'll be back with our CBB file right after we hear from Adele. And
It's easy being green.
Here's Super Bowl Adele.
Adele.
Yes, it is Super Bowl Sunday, which means it's time to talk up green football. First, putting on an NFL game for 70,000 fans requires a huge amounts of resources such as electricity, gas, water, food, drink, paper, and plastic, and that generates a huge amount of waste. The average stadium has a peak energy use of 9 megawatts during games. That's enough to power 7,500 homes. So greening up the NFL is not just good for the environment, but it's also good for the players on field, their experience, and the fans who support them. Which NFL team scored the most green points from Joe Treefrog and myself? Well, among the first to go green, the Philadelphia Eagles are consistently mentioned as one of the greenest in professional sports. Opened in 2003, Lincoln Financial Field kicked off with their Go Green initiative, which started with just a small recycle bin in every office. The overall green program is now cost neutral, according to the team. Between energy produced on-site by 14 wind turbines and 11,000 solar panels and the remaining renewable power purchased, the stadium is 100% powered by green energy. The stadium is also a zero-waste facility. Thought-provoking and inspiring, they are also offsetting all their jet travel by financing over 4,000 native tree plantings and a 6.5-acre urban forest, and by purchasing seedlings for a wildlife refuge in Louisiana. Tied for second place is the 49ers' newly built $1.2 billion Levi's Stadium. The first to receive LEED Gold certification, there's a green roof, plus solar panel-clad pedestrian bridges that carry fans to a parking lot where they can charge their electric vehicles. Also tied for second place, the MetLife Stadium, home of our New York Giants and Jets, was constructed in a unique partnership with the EPA. Aggressive recycling programs, low-flow faucets, toilets and waterless urinals in restrooms, food composting, and mass transit alternatives reduced water, energy, and solid waste production across its entire operations. And an important shout out goes to the Atlanta Falcons for Super Bowl Sunday. With all eyes on the players, the halftime show, and commercials, the only thing green to most people is the color of the field. But the dazzling new Mercedes-Benz Stadium opening in 2017 is on track to be the first professional sports venue to achieve the highest level of LEED Platinum certification. So cheers to all the NFL teams that support sustainability.
And Adele, where did the Redskins fall?
Actually, they get an honorable mention.
Yeah.
All
They
right.
didn't quite topple
bad.
these guys, but I would have, if I had a little bit more time, they would have been definitely up
On the
there.
list,
They're
yeah.
in the top 5-10, let's just say.
Not bad.
That is impressive. They're actually doing something with all the money they're making from those high-priced tickets that
That's
they're
right.
selling for the games.
Better on-field experience and better for the fans.
Good information for you Super Bowl fans. Thanks, Adele. We appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
And your EBG segment. Here's
Go
promised now.
Falcons.
Here we go with our CBB Community Bulletin Board file. Well, if you're Missing the rush of excitement of the new year, you can have another opportunity to relive it. Chinese Lunar New Year will be coming up Saturday, February 11. The Fashion Center at Pentagon City will celebrate the occasion in style. They'll celebrate the year of the rooster by hosting dragon and lion dances, Asian influential fashion shows, Asian influenced rather, calligraphy classes, tea ceremonies, live Chinese music performances, and a lot more. You can visit 1100 South Hayes Street on Saturday, February 11, from noon to 5 p.m. for all the festivities. You can also check them out online. Check out simon.com mall for more details. Daniel.
Well, Craig, we all know Valentine's Day will be on February the 14th. If you don't already have plans, then consider a 7-course celebration dinner at the Art Institute of Washington's Culinary Club. Tickets are limited and cost $50 per couple before Valentine's, $60 at the door, if any are left. Dinner starts at 6:30 p.m. and the doors open at 6. Just give them an email. That's at aiw.cclub@gmail.com to RSVP. Craig.
Sounds interesting. Also in our CBB file, if you have had experience with gardening or would like to have some, then consider volunteering with the Sensory Garden. The Sensory Garden is cultivated with the intention of appealing to all 5 senses. They can be used as a learning tool for adults and children, especially for people with disabilities such as autism or other sensory processing disorders. Volunteers will meet at least once a month for a few hours. The schedule is flexible. For more information, you can contact Walter Reed Senior Center about this opportunity. Give them a call. Their number should be on your screen there, 703-228-0935. Daniel.
And Craig, and yet another garden-oriented opportunity is the Adopt a Park program. You can help support Indigenous plants by removing invasive ones once a month at any of several park locations throughout Arlington. Join your neighbors one day every month as they restore the area's natural plant communities. This is for ages 9 to adult. To find out about locations, times, and other information, send them an email. That's at dprvolunteer@arlingtonva.us or give them a call at 703-228-4730.
All right, Daniel, and news for seniors coming up. Some interesting facts and figures for you homeowners right after we hear from Denise and her review. Here's Denise Pringle.
The Little Theater of Alexandria is celebrating the genius of Cole Porter and his musical comedy classic, Anything Goes. It tells the story of Billy Crocker, who follows his heart and a very lovely young girl named Hope Harcourt onto the SS America as it cruises from New York to London in 1934. Also on board is his friend, Reno Sweeney, who would prefer to be the object of Billy's affection. She and Moonface Martin help him win the love of Hope, who is engaged to Sir Evelyn Oakley. The farcical plot draws its humor from Billy's need to assume a criminal's identity and ticket, and to escape the notice of his boss, who is also a passenger. Comedic disguises and mistaken identities play a huge part in the plot and are certainly responsible for the audience laughter. However, a comedic plot is hardly the reason to attend this Cole Porter musical. Wonderful songs, some of Porter's most beloved standards, fill the score. You're the Top, It's the Lovely, I Get a Kick Out of You, and the title song are all in the first act. The witty and clever lyrics sound as crisp and fresh today as they did 80 years ago when they first entertained Broadway. Stefan Sittig directs and choreographs the show. It is filled with the aforementioned musical numbers and most of the cast singing and tapping with gusto. The action takes place on the SS America, designed by Jim Hutzler and Jeff Nessmeyer, who continue LTA's reputation for great set design. The evening is an homage to the elegance of the bon vivants who lived the lavish lifestyles of the transatlantic cruises during their heyday, and to a few party crashers who made the voyage more colorful. Mara Stewart makes her LTA debut as Reno Sweeney. She may not get Billy, but she certainly gets the attention of the audience as she belts out hit after hit. Tori Garcia as Hope is another newcomer, while Marshall Cessna as Billy and Ken Kemp as Moonface are returning favorites. Gotta watch that Public Enemy number 13. He's something of a scene stealer. Anything Goes sets sail from the Little Theater of Alexandria through February 4th. I'm Denise Pringle reporting for Richard Masabny. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Denise, and her review of Anything Goes. We appreciate it. Moving right along now to this week's News for Seniors segment, and tonight's show, a little bit different segment here on our News for Seniors. This story is unusual in that it might also apply to seniors of the future. This past week, the Sun-Gazette newspaper published a special real estate report showing 4 decades of home sales across Northern Virginia. The report began with the average home sales price in 1975, almost more than 40 years ago, and then showed every year afterward, ending in 2016. The average sales price in 1975 was just under $60,000, $58,739. The average sales price in 2016 was $556,368. The Sun-Gazette article did not explore a cause for the increase, but here's something that you may consider in calculating that. Perhaps overall U.S. inflation was the cause. This idea was tested by going to www.usinflationcalculator.com and then entering 1975 sales price and then calculating the equivalent amount in 2016 dollars. The resulting inflated price was $262,040 and change. That's a cumulative inflation rate of 346%. However, this was less than half of the $556,368 average sales price in 2016. The average sales price increase showed a rate of 847%, and it appears that the increase could not be entirely due to U.S. inflation. And with more on this fascinating facts and figures story, here's Daniel.
And with some more numbers, right, Craig?
More numbers as well.
Well, Craig, perhaps the houses themselves were better in 2016, larger, better constructed, more energy efficient. This idea was tested by examining the case of an individual house in North Arlington. The house was built in 1937 and the current owner purchased it in 1968 for $31,500. There was only one structural modification in the early 1970s. The living room wall was extended outward by 12 inches by the insertion of a prefabricated bay window. Apart from that, the house and the surrounding land have not been substantially improved for 48 years, but merely maintained. Using the U.S. inflation calculator to compare between 1968 and 2016, the inflation-adjusted value of the house would now be $217,247. However, the 2016 assessment was $740,300. Even allowing for the bay window, there seems to be about $500,000 of value added over and above inflation. More recently, the assessment on this older house rose from $665,300 in 2015 to $740,300 in 2016, an increase of $75,000, despite the fact that no improvements were made during that year. Craig.
And finally, to tie this all together here and wrap it up, what does this mean for seniors? One item is the cost of the annual property taxes. Even when the Arlington County property tax rate seems low, the actual dollars required still increase. A 1% tax on $270,000 equals $2,170, but even a 1% tax on $740,000 requires $7,400. A recent survey showed that most seniors would prefer to live out their lives in their own home. Since they are not to be interested in selling, they're mostly not interested in selling, they will not receive any cash benefit from the increased value of their home. Instead, A home buyer from 1975 might still be paying the dollar equivalent of a 1975 mortgage payment in 2016 taxes, rather, and for a home that they thought they owned outright. As for future seniors who purchase a home in 2016, their situation 40 years down the road is not too hard to imagine, and we here at the Arlington Weekly News cannot offer a solution, however, any more than a weather forecaster then can prevent rain. We simply report on the facts and figures as they are presented to us. So we hope that was of some value to you, all those numbers on housing, what it's done over the past 40 years here in Arlington. We'll be back, and that's our News for Seniors segment. We'll be back with a bye-bye after another installment of Sustainable Scoop. Here's Miriam Gennari.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. Homeowners, buyers, and sellers are all recognizing the importance of investing in green homes. But up to this point, there's been no way to quantify the value. And here joining me today is Kari Klaus. She is the founder and CEO of Viva Green Homes. Welcome, Kari.
Thank you so much.
I am so excited not only about your website, vivagreenhomes.com, but also the technology that you're using to provide sellers and buyers the information they need about sustainable homes. How did you come up with the idea?
Well, my background is in sustainability, but I also have a license in real estate in Virginia for over a decade. But it really came to me when I renovated my home and I put in tens of thousands of dollars of eco and energy efficient features. And I realized one really big problem, that if I go to sell my property at any time soon, buyers are not going to be able to see all these cool features. And that meant that when they go to Zillow and Trulia, where most of them begin their home search, these water efficient and energy efficient features and sustainable materials would not show up. So we're solving this problem now with that in mind, to help buyers understand the features, help sellers have a platform so they can market their properties like mine and get the full return on their investment. And we're also helping industry leaders like solar companies and others to understand the value.
So what I think is something that millennials are starting to recognize, but even homeowners who have had their homes for a long time and want to upgrade, they're recognizing that this is something buyers are looking for. And if you can't find that information on Zillow or Trulia, or frankly, the MRIS, then your website solves that problem.
Yes, we do. So very soon we're going to have all of the listings across the country. And what we'll be able to do is provide people a one-stop shop experience so they can have access to more information than they're finding on any other site. So yes, millennials for sure value sustainability, but a lot of people value sustainability because they've had the upgrades.
Okay, so you help us understand what all of these different certifications are and why they're important, because I think a lot of people think it's smoke and mirrors.
So yeah, certifications are very complicated for sure. So for example, I'll give you a couple examples. LEED. LEED is a much more comprehensive certification, and it takes in energy efficiency, water efficiency, sustainable materials, for example. But Energy Star homes focus in on only the energy efficiency. And that is also of importance for a lot of people, but to know the difference between these certifications really helps people understand and make better choices.
So I know that even here in Arlington, there's some regulations that require people to build their homes more sustainability, with more sustainability built into it. Yeah. But for people with existing homes, what are some things that they can do that will add value that your website will bring attention to?
Sure. I highly recommend that everybody who is looking to upgrade their home look into energy audits, and that'll help decide what is best for their home. Do they need to upgrade their windows and doors, or add insulation, or improve the efficiency of their heating and cooling? This will help actually guide you. I'd rather that you be guided by what you need in your home, and then come to our site and we can provide you with a Viva Green score.
Well, and that's the other thing. I may actually have 5 stars now and not know it. But with 5 stars, I can market to a group of individuals who are actually looking for what we have.
Sure. So we have a Viva Green score, which is 1 to 5 stars. 1 star is basically a few upgrades in a home. A 3-star will start typically around when you start adding renewables to the house, so solar panels and interior finishes. And a 5-star home is typically an off-grid or net zero energy home. So maybe you do have an off-grid home. I don't know.
Well, here's another thing. There are a lot of people in the industry right now, and they're trying to encourage people to make their investments. Your website talks about how you can access some funds. Tell me, who's excited about what you're doing?
Who isn't excited? I'm super excited, but yes, real estate agents for sure very excited because now they can finally market their product, what they do what they do every day, and they can access a platform that can help them find the buyers for their listings. The other thing that we've had great successes with other home builders. In fact, Pulte Group, one of the nation's leading home builder, reached out to us because they unveiled recently a prototype of a net zero energy home. And it was so cool, but they realized the value in Viva Green Homes, that we can help them with marketing this prototype home. So they reached out to us to help with that.
Well, I have to brag on you a little bit. You entered the Clean Tech Open, and you are indeed a finalist. This is a national competition. You've competed regionally, and you're going to go for the gold, so to speak. Tell me in very brief what they're looking for in companies.
They are looking for a really good business plan. So yes, Viva Green Homes has a great structure for being able to access the $6 billion market that is the real estate industry. And they're also looking for great pitches, and I do like to talk, so we're pretty good with that. But I want to also give a shout out to a lot of other accelerator programs that help get me there. 1776 in Arlington, Virginia has been wonderful, and Mentor Capital Network in Bethesda, Maryland has also been really valuable.
All right, so I promise that we will report on your big win. If you promise you'll come back and see us again.
Absolutely.
How do people find out about you?
The best way to reach us is to go to our website, vivagreenhomes.com, V-I-V-A, greenhomes.com, and we have social media on there and all sorts of other contact information.
Thanks so much for joining us. This is Kari, Klaus, founder and CEO from right here in Arlington. That is the Sustainable Scoop. Back to the news desk.
And thank you, Miriam Gennari, and another installment of Sustainable Scoop.
Awesome job.
More green
Styrofoam
homes.
mom there, talking with Kari, Klaus of Viva Green Homes. Thanks, Miriam. We appreciate it. And that's about a wrap for our Super Bowl week show and our Groundhog Day week show. We don't have information on Puxatawny Phil, whether he, how soon spring is coming. What do you think?
He's only 39% correct, and 87% of the time he does find his shadow.
Oh.
And if he finds his shadow,
He goes back in.
and that means
And it means winter's 6 weeks. 6 more weeks of winter. So that's all the information we
needs
have
to be cloudy tomorrow.
on Puxatawny
Make that
Phil.
happen.
As of this taping, we'll give you more information on that next time we see you. So that's our show. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Next week, if you're there, we'll be here and we'll try it all again. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.